Hello, family. Welcome back to the CC farm. I just thought I wanted to record this. And I know, none of this stuff has to do with the farm, but it has to do with our lives. And this is where we're at right now. So, don't come for me, because I know it doesn't have to do with the farm. But I wanted to show you guys this weird combination. So, well, hold on, let me start here. Today's video is going to be weird pregnancy food and how I found out I was pregnant. So that's what this YouTube video is going to be about. But before we get into the how I found out I was pregnant, because I'm going to be eating while I do tell you guys, is this somewhat, to me, good food snack thing that I kind of came up with. So I'll show you guys what's in it. So we got imitation crab. Ow, just about cut myself. Whole corn. Worcestershire sauce. Baby kale. And then lastly I use salt. And garlic powder. And so I'll show you guys, but and cut this up. Put it in here. Put the corn in, all the seasonings, and then baby kale. And that's what I was just eating. And I'm going to eat some more of it. And then, once I'm done making this, I will sit down with you guys and tell you how I found out I was pregnant. Alright guys, we got our delicious snack here. / dinner. It is like, I believe, 1 o'clock in the morning. Me and Colton work second shift at our job, so we get home pretty late. We have up tomorrow off, that's why we're up probably later than normal. By the way, if you hear a bunch of clicking in the background, that is because Colton is playing a video game. He plays PC, so that's what you're hearing. It says clicking. So, while I enjoy this wonderful combination thing that I came up with, I'm going to tell you guys how I found out I was pregnant. And give you guys a little bit of backstory, and everything like that. Because this is a huge new thing going on in our life, and it is crazy but wonderful. Wild, shocking, amazing, everything in a book. So, backstory. If this will irritate you, I will be talking and eating at the same time. So, I don't want to watch this video. I'm a pregnant girl that's hungry, but also wants to make this video, so I will be eating while I explain this story. Can you grab that, baby?
Huh?
Can you grab that?
No.
It's gross, babe.
What? What's wrong with it?
This looks weird. I might leave that in. Okay. But anyway, so yeah. I will be eating while doing this. So, since I was young, have always wanted kids. Love babies, especially the baby stage. I absolutely love babies. Love taking care of them. Love holding them. Changing their diaper, feeding them. The whole 9 yards. So I've always wanted kids. I've always wanted kids young. Not necessarily any particular reason. I've wanted kids, and I've always wanted a lot of kids. I always said, like, I want like 10 kids, 19 kids, I don't care, a lot. I've said that for a while, and it hasn't changed, but that's kind of my background of desires. Colton, he's okay with kids. Like, he would love kids, great, but if it wasn't in God's plans, that's great too. But so it wasn't like a major desire of his. So, anyways, we get married. And I'm like baby crazy because now I'm married. I have a husband. And obviously, if God wills it, we can start having kids. So, if you don't know, we've been married a little over 3 years now. When we first got married, our entire marriage, for the most part, I believe, actually the entire thing, we have not used contraceptives. We have not prevented it or anything like that. We just haven't done any of that. So it was always, you know, natural, I guess you could say. We just really decided, like, you know, we're just gonna do the thing God created and made, and if it produces a baby, great. If it doesn't, great as well. Except for my thing, where it was more like, oh, I needed to produce a baby. So, anyways, we're not using contraceptives. Here and there throughout of our time being together, I had times where I would try to get pregnant, where I would track my ovulation, and Colt knew of this obviously, but I would track my ovulation through the app. I would take ovulation strips. I was taking my temperature. I was taking prenatals. Like, I was doing everything possible to get pregnant. And as time went along, and there had been months where I had tried, months where I hadn't tried, and I wasn't getting pregnant. So I thought something was wrong. So I went to the doctor, the gynecologist. Everything came back pretty good. I mean, I had ovarian cyst. One doctor, before I was even married, told me it was PCOS. Then I had a doctor tell me it wasn't PCOS. So, still not sure about that. I'm guessing not. But I do have ovarian cyst. But she said that shouldn't affect, you know, me getting pregnant. And so, we just weren't getting pregnant. Year 1, nothing. Year 2, nothing. In the midst of this last year, whatever you want to call it, still nothing, and I'm thinking maybe I'm infertile, maybe something's wrong, maybe there's something with Colton. I was actually wanting to get him tested, his semen tested and stuff, but he's looking at me right now. But I hadn't got to that point yet. But anyways, months where I try, months where I didn't try, still not pregnant. So of course, with friends and family around me announcing their pregnancies, I was obviously happy for them, but upset, and that it wasn't happening for me. And so anyways, time goes by, and it was funny because at this point in time, me and my sister always talked about like getting pregnant at the same time, like that'd be so cool. And she already has one son, who's a year old now, and so I obviously didn't get pregnant with her that time. And then this time around, when her and her husband were ready for a second, we were like, oh yeah, let's try to get pregnant together. I think I tried for like a month, gave up, so on and so forth. Well, the first month she started trying, for a second, she got pregnant right away. And of course I was happy for her. A little bit sad, like, why can't I get pregnant? But honestly, after that, I was just like, Lord, it's in your hands, because it's stressful. If you know, you know, but it's stressful, it's painful, it's exhausting, it's sometimes can be sinful because it becomes like an idol, I would say. Personally, that's what I believe. So just trying to leave it in God's hands about when we conceive and when we don't. So the next thing I know, a little while later, so my sister was telling me she's pregnant, my older sister, and the next thing I know, I get a call from my younger sister telling me she's pregnant. Now, they weren't trying or anything like that, she just happened to get pregnant. So then I was really like, what? And all my friends were like got pregnant, like it was just insane. Literally everyone's having babies. So I was like, what in the world? Happy, but of course sad. So, but I was just like, Lord, it's in your timing and everything like that. And then literally, I think it was a week later, a little backstory. This is a week later, but a little backstory. The symptoms you would get for a pregnancy are the symptoms I get from a period. One, my period is irregular. The cycle length varies. It's never the same, so I never know what's happening if I'm getting it. And there has been months throughout my life, ever since I got it, where I would skip a month or two, and then I'd get it, and then I wouldn't miss it, and then, so, stuff like that. So, anyways, so I'd get the sore boobs, I'd get the cramping, constipation. I didn't know if my period was late or not because it was irregular. What other things did I get? Extra hungry. I mean, literally, I believe every pregnancy symptom I got from my period. So I would always think like, oh, I might be pregnant. And then I never was pregnant. This is my period coming. So anyways, that's just that. So, Colton and I were working night shift, not at this current job, but at a previous job. It was actually in a jail. And they have a nurse's station, obviously. So in that nurse's station, they have pregnancy tests to test the inmates. Well, I was in there one night, literally not thinking anything of it, because I had sore boobs. I was like, oh, I'm getting my period here soon. But ever since we've been married, like, I would just buy tests and take them randomly. And one, if I thought I was, but then two, just randomly, just to test and be like, ooh, maybe, just like out of nowhere. And of course, it never was positive. So I was in the bathroom and I was like, and I saw them sitting there and I was like, I'm going to take one just to take one. So I took one, and I'll insert a photo, but it was the faintest line ever. And I freaked out and I couldn't believe it. And, but I kind of was like, oh, I don't know if it is, because I have taken a test before where it was a faint line. I didn't realize it, and it was an evaporation line at the time. I showed up to Colton, I'm like, I'm pregnant. This was like months ago. And I got all the expensive tests, and it came back showing not pregnant. And I really wasn't pregnant, obviously. So, I was kind of like, I don't know, this says I'm pregnant. Anyways, I always showed Colton, and he's like, no, you're not. Like, the same one you had last time, like, you're not. And then, next thing I know, so we worked the night shift, so we got off at 7 a.m. I could not stop thinking about it. So we go home, he goes to sleep, so while he's sleeping, I go back out and get a million pregnancy tests. Literally drove to Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, a pharmacy, another different pharmacy, like literally a million places, got all these different kinds of tests, cheaps and the expensive kind, and started to take them. And the cheapy ones that had the lines all came back with a really faint line. One was like barely, like, you know how you look and you're like, oh yeah, there's a line and there's really not a line, but kind of, it was a line, but it's like, it was barely there. Some were more like there. I'm like, I gotta be pregnant. So I take a clear blue, and I got this on video, so maybe I'll insert it in here. And I take a clear blue, I'm like, it's gonna say I'm pregnant, but maybe not. I had that little bit of doubt in my head. And it ended up coming back as not pregnant. And I was like, what the crap? So I go and get one of those pink line ones. I think it's First Response, the pink one, the more reliable one, but I forget what it's like called or something. But anyways, I'm driving around in our truck with a cup of pee in the cup holder and putting all these tests in there. And I put the test in there, and a line comes up, like a good line. I'll insert a picture, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. But the ones that I'm not pregnant, and then the others are faint. So I don't know. And then I was so confused. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, I'm pregnant though. I'm like, I'm pregnant. That must have been like a default one, the clear blue that says pregnant, not pregnant. So anyways, I go home, I'm freaking out. And I can't sleep. I'm crying on the way home, thanking the Lord, and just freaking out, like how I cannot believe this. Like, I was not expecting it at all. And it's been nearly almost 3 years and nothing has happened, and just randomly. And it's so crazy because of God's timing. Like, if you think about it, a lot of people think, oh, it's crazy, you're getting pregnant, you live on this property off grid, everything like that. and then I ended up getting pregnant. But it was funny because when we did live in Florida, we had a home, we bought our home, we had 2 vehicles, we both had 2 jobs, 2 good jobs, like completely set up, and I was not getting pregnant. And so you would think it'd be better to get pregnant in that instance than in this instance, but it was God's timing because, one, I don't know what he has in store for our current situation on the farm, but, which I would love to raise our little girl on there, but, like, I'm just looking back, like, praise the Lord and his timing, because if we would have got pregnant beforehand, you know, Colton and I were going through marital things that we had to work through, and it would not been, like, good timing for us to have brought a child in at that point in time until we worked through some of the things. And it's just awesome now because now we're in a good place mentally in our marriage. I personally feel like we're in a good place in life in general. So it was just crazy, God's timing and how he worked it. So you're not alone if it's taking a long time for you to get pregnant. I know how it feels, and it's painful, but so true. I didn't realize it until it actually happens, but God's timing is perfect. But anyways, that's how I found out I was pregnant, and we're so excited, so happy. And yeah, that's really the end of that story. Of how I found out. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please comment, like, and subscribe.